Hello everyone, we've got a great show planned for you this evening. We're going to take you behind the scenes at the Granlund Performing Arts Center, located right here at the high school, where SK's best show off their talent. Also, stay tuned for a comic review of SK's past, learn about what the highlighters have been up to, find out what comes next for an SK graduate. I'm Amy Powell. All that and more coming up on the June episode of Wolf Tracks. Good evening all and welcome to Wolf Tracks. Hey, look where I am. I'm in the theater and I've got it all to myself. Anyways, did you know that the theater opened its doors in 1980? Didn't get its name until 6 years later. It was named after the current principal, Principal Granlund. He was a big supporter of the theater. And why wouldn't he be? Look at this place. It has so many uses, from musicals to plays, talent shows, awards ceremonies, a million other things, along with concerts. Speaking of concerts, the SK Highlighters, who are very familiar with this stage, recently participated in a competition. Let's take a look.
In the mood for a little music?
2, 1, 2, 3.
How about the smooth beats of jazz? If so, South Kitsap Highlighters has the stuff for you. All year long, the group has been competing in and winning various competitions, but their success has not come so easy.
I think this year's group is mostly successful because of the work ethic of the kids. They really have worked extremely hard to get prepared for rehearsals and performance. They really prioritize the group and have really made places in their schedule for all the rehearsals and performances and things we've done.
Working hard to achieve their best performance comes at a high cost. Having fun while doing this comes completely free.
I think aside the performing aspect of it all and being on stage, a big part of it is being with my best friends, and everybody in this group has become so close to me that it's just been, became such a big part of my life. So I think that's probably the funnest part.
The best part about Highlighters is pretty much just singing, because I've loved singing ever since I was a little kid, and doing it with a group of people who also enjoy it is just a great thing.
A great thing is right. South Kitsap Highlighters has become a nationally known name and just finished first at the Columbia Basin College competition, which is one of the largest competitions in Washington. This had to have been difficult to achieve.
Probably the most difficult thing for us to overcome has been probably the difficulty of getting all the performances in. We've done almost 50 performances this year, and getting kids involved in a lot of different activities, and then trying to get them involved in their music things. It's just been pretty tough in that way. Maybe another thing that was a little bit tough for us has just been going beyond where we were last year and getting on to the next thing and trying to improve upon where we were last year.
It's obvious this group knows how to have a good time, but they also know how to buckle down and get the job done. Preparing and practicing their performances is their primary focus during practices.
I don't really think anything super hard about Highlighters, maybe balancing our schedules and prioritizing things, but other than that, it's more fun than anything else.
So with the year coming to an end and half of the group graduating, how is Highlighters looking for the next year?
As we go into next year, the success of this year will really help those kids to be motivated, and they'll have some things to look back on, some history that they can look back on and kind of build for the future.
And the future group definitely has a lot of success to look back on. This year, Highlighters walked away with tons of first-place finishes, many solo awards, and have earned a fabulous reputation for South Kitsap's music department. It has been an overall successful year for these incredible performers, and there's no doubt in anyone's mind they are going out with a bang.
those highlighters are pretty good. They have to audition, and I hear that's a pretty competitive gig. So anyways, you guys might be wondering where I am right now. And until today, I didn't even know this place existed. I am actually one level below the stage, what is known as the trap. See, right up here is the stage, and these are large panels that you can actually remove, so during a play, actors can come down below ground level. They also use this area to store a lot of lumber, furniture, and neat things. Let me see what I can find. Oh, hey, look at this neat old lampshade. I wonder what they use this in. Oh, and Anne, look at that cool old chair. You know what? I think I'm gonna dig around and see what I can find. While I do that, why don't you check out the next story and see what cool things you can discover.
Do you ever wonder what goes through the minds of the staff and students here at South Kitsap High School? Well, this is a unique opportunity to peer into the depths of their intellectual brains. This is the first edition of SK Walking. Who's the lead singer of NSYNC?
Your mom.
I thought they all sing. Joey Fatone.
Jennifer Garner.
Elvis Presley.
JT.
How many books are in our library?
1,700.
Probably enough for 5 for each student. That'd be about 10,000.
About 28, I think.
585.3.
What mountain range can you see from our school?
Mount Hood?
What mountain range can you see? You can see the Olympic mountain range. I do know that one.
Mount Rushmore.
What Disney movie is Ariel from?
The Little Pan.
Yeah, I know what that is. But I can't remember the name. It's the one with the fish. Under the sea.
Yeah, that one.
The Little Mermaid?
What is the name of our football field?
Knowles Stadium.
Mr. Segerson Land.
Roy Anderson Field. No, that's Kate Carver. We'll go with Davenport Stadium.
SK football field.
Wrigley Field.
Who's Brad Pitt's wife?
Me.
Well, my understanding is that Brad Pitt is having an affair. So his wife is that Courtney Cox? No, is that right? I don't know. I think Miss Scar, actually.
Well, there you have it, folks. The street smarts of South Kitsap High School.
So, how did you do on the quiz? Did you get them all right? Well, I know last time we were down low in the trap, so can you guess where I am now? I'm up here. Have to admit, it makes me a little nervous being up this high, but there are South students that are up here every morning working away. It's a stagecraft program, and they maintain the theater for all of the events that happen here. It's a lighting crew in particular that use these catwalks to hang the lighting and other instruments, like that one. Looks kind of expensive. Better not touch. Anyway, our next story is on an SK graduate who had some lofty goals for college. Enjoy.
Remember Victor Valle? Ever wonder where he is now? Well, after an impressive senior season 2 years ago, where he rushed for 1,583 yards and 25 touchdowns, not to mention a 9-1 record in which the Wolves went to their 24th consecutive trip to the state playoffs, Victor signed a letter of intent to play college football for the University of Central Washington. Even though he was anxious to further his career in football, he was a little nervous about going to a new school in a new town meeting new people. One of the many things that Victor had to adjust to from going from high school to college was adjusting to a new town. But the move from Port Orchard to Ellensburg isn't that much of a change.
It really wasn't that difficult to transition because pretty much Ellensburg is pretty much the same as Port Orchard or Bremerton. It's a small town, and it's really derived around their football team. So it's pretty much just like the South Kitsap area where they really support their team a lot.
Although Victor got a full-ride scholarship to play college football at Central Washington University, college football isn't the most important thing. Getting an education is. Another transition is adjusting to new classes, new schedules, and new teachers. It's very different from high school.
Classes in college are a lot harder. What it is, it's more in depth. It's not just the basic information of high school. They really go strenuous. Pretty much, they get really in depth with the material.
In addition to adjusting to the town, the people, and the schooling, college football itself is a huge transition from high school.
The training regimen is a lot harder up at college. They expect you, like I said before, it's really an all year round team thing. It's a real all-around program. It's all lifting. You're trying to get better, upcoming for the next season. In high school, I was the fastest guy on the team. I can use my speed just to outrun everybody. In college, it's hard because there's a lot of players that get the same accolades as you, first team All-State, stuff like that, where they're the same speed as you. So you can't use that. You have to, I had to change my running style.
Now that we've seen Victor come from being a star running back in high school to just another athlete on the football team in college, what does he plan to do for the future?
Well, I'm already getting looked at by the Niners right now. They've already told me they're interested, just keep getting bigger. So I plan initially to try to further my football career in the NFL, hopefully get drafted or signed as a free agent. I'm planning to major in broadcast journalism, so I'm going to continue my work in broadcasting and doing like video production type stuff the way I did in high school, because I really liked that.
Although college has proven to be more difficult for Victor, both academically and on the field, his ability to work hard and adapt are destined to make him a success with whatever he does.
And it looks like he's picked up some new goals along the way. With the NFL and broadcasting, we'll look for his reports on a local sports show sometime soon. And I have come down a few levels and found this room, the electrical room, where I hear electrical wiring is linked to lights all over the theater. And I think a big part of it is this big machine right here. And I'm not exactly sure how to work it or exactly what it does even. But I hear it has to do with assigning lights to various dimmer controls. We have specially trained students that know how to work this. Sounds a little too complicated for me. Speaking of complicated, you know what's complicated? Growing plants. I always end up killing them off for some reason. That's why we have the SK horticulture kids who know what they're doing. And so why don't you take a look at this story on the local annual plant sale.
Plants, plants, and more plants. So where could you see so many plants that look this great? Only at the South Kitsap High School plant sale. Plants that are seen in the sale are all cared for by the horticultural students at South Kitsap. They are all watered, fertilized, and trimmed so that they all look in top condition for the sale. Two large fans help maintain the temperature in the greenhouse to keep the plants looking healthy.
Well, I thought that you had quite a variety of plants and they all look very healthy, and it was well prepared and ready for the sale.
The plant sale occurred the week of May 5th through 8th. If you missed it, you can always come next year.
The plant sale went extremely well this year. We sold everything in the greenhouse, which we've never done before, so that was a great time. Lots of student help, lots of customers that were repeat customers, and a lot of new customers as well.
Buy a few plants which I enjoyed, and they looked very, very good. I can't complain about it at all. It's a very nice place, and you children took very good care of helping us.
Thank you, South Kitsap Horticulture, for making the plant sale great.
Well, those plants sure look beautiful, and they made great Mother's Day gifts. And we've seen a lot of the theater and some great stories. So stay tuned for the second half of the show, and we'll take a look at how to get rid of some creepy crawlers, follow in depth with some more of SK's odd customs. So, before we continue, we'll take a break for some special announcements. Hey, how about some water over here? Here.
And now, as voted by SK staff, outstanding students for the month of February and March. Danielle Friend, outstanding athlete and scholar, active in cross country and track, member of Honor Society with a 3.8 GPA, plans to become a clinical psychologist. John Potts, a fine student athlete, active in FFA, Natural Helpers, National Honor Society, National Merit Scholar finalist, and still finds time to teach church Sunday school. Patrick Kelly, good student and excellent athlete, varsity football, wrestling, and baseball. Goal is to play baseball at the pro level. And Craig Center, another outstanding student athlete, carries a 3.8 GPA, participates in football, wrestling, and baseball. He is the ASB treasurer and plans to become a geologist. Congratulations and thanks for helping make SK great.
Did you know that there's over 600 chemicals in each cigarette? Did you know that there's over 400 deaths attributed to smoking each year? And for every 8 smokers that die, 1 person dies from secondhand smoke. Each cigarette contains a paint stripper, a toilet cleaner, a lighter fluid, a chemical in mothballs, a rocket fuel, a poison used in gas chambers. Now do you want to take the chance?
Did you know that video production students produce more than just Wolf Tracks? Video production students are constantly working to capture the memorable moments of SK history. Check out these upcoming broadcasts. The SKHS Class of 2004 graduation will air Saturday, June 19th at noon, Tuesday, June 22nd at 9 a.m., Wednesday, June 23rd at 10 p.m., Friday, June 25th at 1 p.m. And catch the 2004 SKHS Talent Show Average Idol Friday, June 26th at 9 a.m.
Okay, now I'm refreshed and we can continue on with the rest of the show. Right now, I'm in one of the neatest rooms possibly in the entire theater, the costume room. What makes this unique is there's not only one costume room, there's 2. This just happens to be the men's costume room. You name it, it's in here. This room is packed with jackets, wigs, shoes, ties, cummerbunds, everything. Take this jacket, for example. This was worn by one of the waiters in the musical Hello, Dolly. I like the color. Kind of reminds me of when I was a kid and I used to go to the fair and see the clowns in their bright costumes. You know some FFA students went to the fair recently? Check it out.
The South Kitsap FFA went to the Northwest Junior Livestock Show on April 14th through the 18th. Let's check it out and see what they did. Each animal has to weigh between 225 pounds and 275 pounds, so they each go across the scale to see their exact weight. If they make weight, then they get to stay at fair, but if they don't make weight, they sadly have to be sent home, and the students are sent home too. What kind of preparations do you have to do to your animals to make sure they are ready for fair?
Preparation for the Puyallup Spring Fair entails a tremendous amount of work, time, bathing your animal. First off, training your animal, get to know it. And then you have to bathe it, get it clean, ears, tail, belly. Then you have to clip it. We clip the body totally to make them look more muscular. It makes the muscles stand out.
On Thursday there is a show. This is type, which is when the judge tries to figure out which pig is the best by looking at its muscle. On Friday they got judged on fitting and showing, which is where they see how clean your pig is and how well it is trained. What other type of activities go on while you're at fair?
Saturday opens up with a livestock judging contest where the schools or the teams are broken up into 5-member teams and they judge beef, sheep, and swine for their quality. Similar to what they've been done by a regular judge, it's the students' turn to turn around and judge the classes and try to determine which are the best and which are the worst.
And on Sunday was the animal auction where all of the animals that were at fair got sold. After that, we tore down and went home. It was a fun and exciting week, but everyone was glad to be home.
Great job, guys. Hey, remember back in the show a little bit, I was up there on the catwalk? Boy, I thought that was scary. Well, look where I am now. I'm at the highest point in the entire theater and the school. This is known as the grid. Well, mainly because it's a giant metal grid, which I can see through. As a matter of fact, I can see all the way down to the stage floor. Actually, the point of this grid is to provide support for the outer walls and keep everything held up, kind of like a circus tent. Which brings me to my next story. It's about those pesky little tent caterpillars that have come out and we've been trying to get rid of them. We're not sure what to do. So you take a look at that, and I'm going to go back downstairs.
Have you ever wondered what these are? These crawling clusters that eat at your deciduous trees and bushes? They are known as tent caterpillars, and they are definitely a nuisance. Let's get the scoop on them from Mr. Vetter, South Kitsap's head agriculture teacher.
The tent caterpillar that we're seeing today that has infestations all over the deciduous trees is a pest that it's cyclical. It runs its life in a very short term. It attacks the foliage of the tree. It defoliates the tree, meaning it just takes all the leaves off the tree. At that time then, you'll see that there's webs all over the tree. They'll actually lay a cocoon that'll turn eventually into a moth. And the moth then looks to find more places to lay eggs for the tent caterpillars to reappear. Tent caterpillars will, as they finish out their life cycle, and after they become a moth, the moth then hibernates, or it creates a nest, lays its eggs, so that more caterpillars can hatch.
These pestilential insects aren't impossible to be rid of, however. There are multiple remedies. One is to cut down the clusters, seal them in a tied plastic bag, and throw them away, although not effective. The second is far more effective, but plenty more messy, to burn them in a bonfire. The third is most effective.
Another method of control for the tent caterpillar is to use something called BT. It's a bacillus spray that stops their reproductive cycle immediately and makes them sterile.
This BT poison product is available at most gardening and property care centers and nurseries. So, if you think even ants are less of a problem than these caterpillars, keep all these remedies in mind for now and next year, because who knows if next year will be better or worse.
Boy, I sure never really liked bugs very much. At least we know how to get rid of them. And at least I'm back on solid ground. Anyways, it might sound kind of silly, but the next time you're in the theater, why don't you take a look at the walls? All along this wall, you'll find musicals and plays performed by the drama department over the years. We have Flowers for Algernon, Guys and Dolls, and Anna Green Gables. That one was my favorite when I was a kid. Anyway, South has some pretty interesting history. A couple of SK video students did a little research, and what they found is pretty amusing. Let's take a look.
In here. Are you scared? I'm scared. I'm not scared. You are too scared. We're in an old storage room. Oh, look! Lights!
Man, I think he said they're around here somewhere. I think this is it.
These are it.
Yeah.
They're right here.
Look how old these yearbooks are.
They must have been around when dinosaurs were on Earth.
I thought that was when Mr. Down was in high school.
Same time.
Huh. I wonder what it was like back then.
Look right here. Newspapers only cost 2 cents per copy.
That's cheap.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. You think that's cool? Look at this. You would definitely be on this list, Aishlyn.
What list are you talking about?
It's called the Blacklist. Back then, they used to list all the names of the sloppy eaters.
Well, you would be on this list.
What list?
This one. It's a list of all the people who gossip. They call it the party line.
I don't gossip.
Whatever.
Oh my golly gee. They used to hit people.
For what?
For breaking the rules.
What rules?
These tardy rules. It says right here when a student is tardy, they have to make up 30 minutes after school, and if they don't make it up, they can't graduate.
And look, TOLA rules. Carry boys' books, open doors, walk boys to classes, speak to boys first, do all flirting,
Dang, that's harsh.
No, seriously, right here it says, long, curly black eyelashes and dark brows make beautiful eyes, but if you are not gifted with them, a few whisks of a brush and presto! Eye makeup must be very carefully applied or you will have a made-up appearance. High school girls should not use eyeshadow.
Man, some girls around here would have trouble with that one.
Yeah, they'd be considered scandalous. What you looking at, Tilly?
This old yearbook. Look how they're dancing.
Oh, speaking of dances, here's a list of all the couples going to prom.
Ooh, I'd be on that list.
Oh yeah, you got asked to prom, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of something. Are you graduating?
I sure hope so. Why?
This article I'm reading talks about how for graduation the senior girls got teaspoons.
Teaspoons?
It said rings.
I'd rather get a ring than a teaspoon.
Speaking of rings, I think the bell just rang.
Good, I'm hungry. Let's go to lunch. Where's our flashlight? Get our flashlight.
You know what? I need to buy my yearbook.
Me too.
Don't rush me.
I'm like, I can't see, there's no light back here.
Here you go.
I'm serious.
Here you go.
Hey, you want me? I'm gonna tell you my joke, okay?
No, Tilly, shut up.
They had a sloppy eating list and all those strict rules. Ugh, so glad things have changed. Well, I guess that about wraps up this episode of Wolf Tracks and our tour of the Wynn Granlund Performing Arts Center. School may be out, but be sure to check out our July and August episodes, which will be airing. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and before I go, I'm not sure if you noticed, but our theater has 2 rotating seating sections. I'm gonna catch a ride.